Now that you already know about the obvious signs of manipulation, but what about the ones that look completely normal, like a compliment, a promise, a simple request? None of them seems dangerous on their own, but when they are used in the right way, they can quietly influence what you do, how you feel, and even what you think you owe someone. There are seven subtle manipulation tactics that are much easier to miss than you think. Number one, moving the goalpost. You finally do what they ask for, and somehow it's still not enough. You clean the house, and they point out what you missed. You get a promotion, and instead of celebrating, they ask, "So when are you getting the next one?" The standard keeps changing. What you need to do is stop trying to constantly prove yourself. Ask them directly, what exactly would be enough for you? If the answer keeps changing, recognize the pattern and stop chasing an impossible standard. Number two, playing the victim. You bring up something that's genuinely bothering you. I feel like I'm doing everything around the house lately. Instead of addressing it, they suddenly start talking about how stressed, exhausted, and unappreciated they feel. And before you know it, you are comforting them while your original problem completely disappears. This isn't necessarily Darvo because, like Darvo, they do not have to deny what happened or attack you. Sometimes they simply make their feelings the focus while you feel guilty for bringing up yours. What you need to do is do not ignore their feelings, but do not abandon your own feelings. You can say, I understand you are having a hard time and I'm willing to talk about that. But I want us to address what I brought up first. You can care about someone's feeling without letting them replace the conversation. Number three, intermittent reinforcement. They are incredibly loving one week, then cold the next, and suddenly they are loving again. You never know which version you are going to get, and that unpredictability can make you chase their approval even harder. You start thinking, maybe if I do everything right, I will get the good version of them back. So here what you need to do is stop judging the relationship by its best moment. Look at the overall pattern. Ask yourself, how do I feel most of the time and not just when they are being nice? Number four, isolation. It usually doesn't start with, you can't have friends. It starts with, I just don't trust that friend. Then, why are you always going out? Then, don't you think your family interferes too much? Little by little, your relationship disappears until the person controlling you becomes the center of your entire world. What you have to do is do not let your world shrink. Stay connected with your friends, family, and people you trust. And if someone constantly make you feel guilty for having a life outside of them, pay attention. Number five, confusion tactics. You bring up one simple problem. Suddenly, they are talking about something you did 3 months ago, then something your friend said, then an argument you had last year. 5 minutes later, you are defending yourself and wondering, wait, what were we even talking about? Here, what you need to do is slow the conversation down. Do not defend 10 different accusations at once. Say, we are talking about one simple issue. Let's stay with that. If they keep changing the subject, you do not have to keep following them. Number six, weaponized incompetence. I'm just terrible at cooking. I do not know how to use the washing machine. You are much better at dealing with this stuff. All these things, and then somehow you end up doing everything. If someone constantly cannot do something but never actually tries to learn, their helplessness may be doing a very convenient job for them. What you have to do is do not automatically take over. Instead, let them learn. I'll show you how to do it, and I'm not going to keep doing it for you. Help shouldn't turn into permanent responsibility. Number seven, extreme first, reasonable second. Someone asks you for something completely ridiculous. You say no, obviously, and suddenly they make a smaller request. Fine, just do this one thing. And compared to the first request, it sounds reasonable. But that's exactly the point. The first request changes your sense of what reasonable looks like. What you have to do is ignore the first request completely. Judge the second request on its own and ask yourself, if they had asked me for this first, would I still have said yes? If the answer is no, you already have your answer. The most efficient manipulation doesn't always feel like manipulation. Sometimes it feels like you are choosing freely. So next time, when you suddenly feel guilty, pressured, confused, or responsible for someone else's feeling, pause before you react. Ask yourself, did I choose this or was I pushed into it? Because sometimes the biggest warning sign isn't what someone says, it's how you feel after talking to them.